Welcome to yet another episode of John Works Too Much. So today, this nice family has a living room on the other side, and then this is a garage, and they want to cut a hole through here so that they can walk through, and then they want to take this garage door out. We're going to put a window in, we're going to frame this up, insulate it, sheetrock it, and put Hardy on the other side. And so one of today's lessons is this. This thing right here is called a torsion spring, okay? So this is what makes your garage door. A garage door has some weight to it. It's not super heavy, but it has to be able to pull itself back up. And so this has a bunch of pressure on it, and it's spun under tension. And then when you lift the garage door, then it feels effortless to you because it's under pressure. But the problem with these is if you just undo them, they unwind real fast and they can really hurt you badly. So you probably can't see it because my hands are too dirty, but my knuckles are all ground up and I got scars all on them because I had a burn house, a flip house, across the street from where Kelly Clarkson grew up. And back when I owned Dream World, some band's like, hey man, we need some money. And so I was like, yeah, we can go work after the show. So it was like 2 o'clock in the morning and we're working, and I didn't have the right tools to do this. And so I'm trying to work it. And all of a sudden it slipped and the whole thing just ground out and just like raked my knuckles up. So don't do that. You gotta be careful with these. Usually you wanna get like a professional to do it. I'm not gonna get a professional to do it because I am a professional, apparently. So anyway, that's what we're gonna do today. Is that, what else are we gonna talk about, Lincoln? Any kind of important life lessons you wanna talk about?
Money.
Huh?
Money.
All right, so a lot of people ask me, John, how do you flip houses? And this happens to me all the time. Several times a week, somebody's like, can I take you out to lunch or whatever, and will you teach me how to flip houses? I had one person say, can I take you out to coffee, talk to you for about 15 minutes, pick your brain, and then kind of learn what you know. And I'm like, bro, it'll probably only take about 3 minutes, and that last 12 minutes will just be cuddling or whatever. I'm gonna give you everything you need to know about flipping houses. You ready? You buy a house for cheap, you fix it up, you sell for more. That's pretty much it. All right, here's your lesson. Oh, hey there. So remember a few minutes ago when I was like, hey, we're gonna cut a hole in this wall so that we can go from the living room into this garage? We did it. It's pretty simple. We just got there's like a laser kind of a thing, and it cuts through literally anything. And we just take the laser and then we line it up, and then you just push the button and it disintegrates all the material and then rewires everything and reframes everything. It's really amazing. You guys should get one. It's called a laser disintegrator cutter thing. They got them at the laser disintegrator.
The Space Depot.
The Space Depot, yes. So there's a saying that's keep your enemies close, but keep your enemies toaster. And I don't really know what that means, but I think it means something like you need to make peace with your enemies as much as possible and live at peace with all the people that you possibly can as much as possible. I think that's how it works. There's some sayings I don't really understand. Okay. All right, so whenever you're framing, you have to have pressure treated, which is the green stuff, on the ground, and then we anchor in. This is called a hammer drill, and that's a 1/2 inch bit. So this does just a drill or a hammer drill, which means it pounds and then twists, or just a hammer. So you can like jackhammer under tile or something like that. Okay. So then these are expanding anchors, and whenever you pound them down in there, then this thing expands out and then holds into the hole. So you can see how this right now is sitting not so great, but watch this. Going nowhere now. Okay, so our next lesson, I know that's been a long lesson, is see right here, they got a beam above this where the garage door is, which is great, except for one thing. This is only nailed in through the side, and over time, this whole thing can just fall down, right? So you gotta have what's called a jack stud that supports that weight. So I already cut one. And what that means is that from here, you wanna be underneath that. So then this is holding the weight here, and we gotta do the same thing on the other side. So let me get another in here. So you shoot that sucker in there. And then that's how that works. Then we're gonna frame up the rest of this. We're gonna put a window right here. This will take moments. I just don't wanna waste your time. What else are we gonna talk about, Lincoln?
Time management.
Time management. Okay, so time management is important. You'll notice that most people that are late everywhere that they go typically try to be on time to everywhere that they go. But the problem is they're trying to be on time, they've factored everything in, and then all of a sudden they don't have gas, or their phone rings, or some crisis happens, or their kids are crying, or they can't find their shoes, whatever in the world it is, that makes them late, they think. The problem is that there's always something, right? So if the people that are always on time try to be early. They consistently are like 15 minutes early is late, a minute late, you're out the gate, that kind of thing. And so if you plan to be early, then if you're like, oh, I forgot to get gas, or if you I don't know, can't find your shoes or whatever in the world, then you've already allowed time for that, and then you're still early. You're later than you wanted to be, but you're still early, or at least on time. So that is an important thing about time management, is don't allow just enough time, allow yourself extra time, because there's always gonna be something that's gonna screw up your time. And if you feel like you're just in this panic all the time, like just anxious, and that's bad for you. Let's talk about that for a second too. So anxiety and nervousness, there's so many people that live with this all the time. They're just constantly like, they just feel like they're under pressure, and they just have this anxious feeling about them, right? And there's a reason for that in nature. Let's say that you're a gazelle, okay? Can you imagine that? You got your thinking cap on. You're out there, you're just eating grass, you're chilling. You've been out there for your whole life, just chilling. And then all of a sudden, a lion comes up, or some kind of a predator comes up, and all of a sudden you get this spike of adrenaline, you got energy, that'll last you for a while, you run for your life, you're panicking, you're stressed, you're going faster than you've ever gone before. Eventually you get away from the lion, hopefully. And when you do, then your heart's still beating or whatever, but the lion's gone, danger's gone, and you mellow back out and you chill and you just go about eating grass again. That's how adrenaline should work. That's how stress should work. But we live under that stress constantly. I mean, I see people that just all day, every day, for years, for their, the better part of their life, they're just, and you're like, man, you've got to decompress. Like, you've got to just let it go. I remember I did big production video for 16 years. And every day was just like, the world's gonna end, we've got to do this, this is $1 million, this is $10 million, this is, I did shows that were $40 million. And the people in charge are just like, this is the end of the world, it has to go right, it has to go right. And I'm like, bro, you have got to chill. That is that's a recipe for destruction and for failure. You're setting yourself up for failure. So rather than doing that, I'm like, look, I don't have time or the energy or the extra, I don't want to take 15 years off my life. This might be the biggest thing in the world to you. This is just Tuesday to me, man. Like, I gotta decompress. So I think that unrealistic expectations is a big thing. I think that not allowing more time than what you need is a big thing. Not allowing more resources than what you need, it's stressful. And so if you get that stuff right the first time and allow a little bit extra, then you won't have that stress, and you will be on time to places, and you will have enough time to do all the things that you want to do. So hopefully that helps, and then hopefully you learn something on this too. All right, see you guys soon. Okay, today you're gonna learn something. Normally, sheetrock is 4 feet by 8 feet, 48 by 96, and studs end up being 97 and an eighth. But then you have a 1/2 inch of sheetrock at the top, which brings you down to 96 and 5/8, which leaves you a little gap at the bottom, so that if there's standing water, it doesn't wick up and then ruin your sheetrock. So you got this gap in here, and you're like, well, how do I get rid of that gap? You could like lift it up and have somebody hold it, and that would really be miserable. Or this is called a Super Wonder Bar, and because it's got this bend in it, then you can step on it, watch, and then boom, we're good, right? And then over you go, and then you just nail it up, and it's effortless. So when you're doing sheetrock, we're gonna learn a couple other things. You can screw it or nail it. Today I'm nailing it. So you want to dimple the paper, but not break the paper, right? So see, it dimpled it, but it's not broken. We didn't break the paper. So that's good. And then you can see too, the sheetrock from the profile, it's smooth, but then it dimples in where these two meet, and that's because that's where your tape goes when you tape in bed. So you tape that, and then you float it out, and then that makes this whole thing smooth. So that is a good lesson on hanging some sheetrock. All right. Oh, hey there. So me and Lincoln were just discussing these new Jack in the Box cups that they've got. And you definitely want to drink, see where it says Jack? You want to drink from that side, and allow me to demonstrate why. No problems, right? But if you drink from this side, over here where it says...
I told him, drink from this side.
All right, well. See, it's just bad. It just doesn't end up well.
Works a lot better.
Yeah. Or you just drink straight from the bottle, like a baby would do.
That's disgusting.
I know. I slept like a baby last night. And by that I mean like got up and cried every 2 hours. By the way, ladies, if you're thinking I got a crush on John and he knows it, I don't know it. You're gonna have to like send me $100 so I know that you're serious. So it dawned on me that probably a lot of you guys don't know how to tape in bed, and I guess I've never showed you how to tape in bed. Most of these videos, not that I do, but that other people do, they have like all these ideal situations and like everything's perfect. This is not perfect. This is, we're splicing into all kinds of stuff where there was a garage door, it's different depths and everything. So the point is you want to get mud on here, fairly thick, not ridiculously thick. And then this tape is not sticky, right? So it's not sticky at all. There's kind of a bead on the outside of it. You want the bead to go towards the wall, okay? So you measure that off and get what you want. And then stick that to the wall, right? Like this. And then you squeeze that mud out, and that's what makes it stick. So I'll show you. So on this one, we had to do a joint real close to this corner joint. So I'm gonna show you how to do that too, because that's important. I'm trying to show you like several different things. So this is an inside corner, and I'll show you the difference. So inside corner is this part, and then this is an outside corner here, right? So outside corner, inside corner. I'm gonna show you how to do both of them. So you wanna get mud on both sides of your corner. Flip back enough, let me show you all this stuff. Lincoln, you want to talk about anything when we're doing this?
Like,
No?
do you want to talk about something or should I?
Give me a topic. Anything. You got any questions?
Suicide.
Suicide. I would rather kill myself than commit suicide, and that's no lie. Suicide is a coward's way out. I understand that sometimes it feels like that's the way out, but it's not. Things are going to get better. We all feel like that sometimes. You're not weird. You're not different. This is something we all deal with, but you got to just push on through, because it doesn't actually take away your pain. It just means that you have no hope to make it better. So stick with it. God's gonna be with you. If you're really thinking about suicide, in all seriousness, call me. I'll answer anytime. Okay, so you want to squeeze that mud out. All right. And then here comes the bedding. Okay, so I left a little part over here. This is kind of a sloppy mess. I gotta fix that. I'm not the best at taping bedding. I'm pretty good at taping bedding, but you know who's the best? Billy Feaster. I'm gonna go ahead and call you out, Billy. And anytime you get the opportunity, if you got a full house to do, have his guys come in and do it. They'll come in and do all the sheetrock in a house in like a day. 2 guys, and just look like whatever. And they'll come in the next day and just tape bed everything. They're pretty much amazing. And he's a good guy, and I love him a lot. So anyway, so that's me crying in the background. So then you want to mud it, right? So that's the tape part, and then this is the tape and bedding part. So here we're gonna bed this, which means, and I'm kind of taking more strokes than I need to, but you see how that looks? Much better than it did just a few moments ago, before I started talking about suicide. All right, so there's probably not enough mud in my tray here to show you, but I'm gonna try anyway. Okay, so we're gonna call that good because we're limited on mud. You kind of get the point. So don't think that you just do this with 1 coat, all right? It takes 3 coats to do it, and then you texture. So if it looks kind of sloppy when you do it the first time, that's perfectly normal. And with practice, it gets better. And everybody, is like, well, you do it better than me. I'm like, well, I've been doing it for 32 years, and you've been doing it for 32 minutes or whatever. So, give yourself a break. I sucked at it when I first started. Everybody, when they start taping bedding, it's not good. It's not pretty. I need to get some more here. So I guess it's going to be a longer video than I thought, but I'm trying to show you guys.
It's alright, it's only at 22 seconds.
Did you start over?
Kidding.
Okay. I'm gonna get a little bit more mud. Normally I put this in a bucket, but my bucket has textured mud in there, so let's get it straight out of here, which is a mess. Don't do this. Don't do it like that. So all you do to texture is take the same mud and then water it down, and it gets real runny. You put it in a hopper and then spread it up on the wall. All right, so then you get this on both sides of your corner. This is the outside corner, right? And then there's this stuff called corner bead, and it costs a little bit of money. It's, I think about $7,000 a stick, but it's totally worth it. And it's not really $7,000 a stick, it's like $4 or $5 a stick, but totally worth it. And it comes in 8-foot sticks or 10-foot sticks, and I'll show you how it works. So now we find the piece already cut. Oh, here it is. Right here. And then this sticks in place, all right? But you're not done yet. That's just the start. So it looks better than it did, but not as good as it will. Then we take that and press this down, get the extra mud out of there. And come in here, press this down. And now, where are you going? And now you want to bed that as well. So it gives you a nice bead to come off of, so that you get a nice smooth looking line. And you want to come from the top and then from the bottom, because if you come in the middle somewhere, then you end up with lines. It just happens. So no, however much it takes to put on, but then you start from the bottom and come up, and you start from the top and come down, and kind of overlap that. Get this stuff off of here. And it's just like frosting a cake, except for I don't frost cakes because I don't cook at all. Actually, I do cook, but all the cooking I do is with my credit card and a restaurant. I can cook literally anything. And it's really amazing. And it doesn't even take that long. Especially, there's these places called fast food restaurants, and the food comes out faster. But with COVID, they come out pretty slow. It should just be called food. It's not even fast food anymore. It's just inconvenient food. And then get this little yuck off there, and then boom. So that is a straight joint, an inside corner, and an outside corner, and how to do it, right? And I hope that helps you guys. So I'm gonna keep working. So we're gonna wrap up for the day. We did not get everything done. It was a long 28 minutes. Actually, not that bad. It was pretty mild. We took out the garage door. We were safe about it. All my knuckles are still in place. That's good. We cut the hole in the wall. We framed that out. We moved the wiring. We patched the sheetrock. We framed this up, put in the window, put in the hardy, put in the trim, insulated, sheetrocked, and tape embedded. So that's a pretty decent day. Tomorrow we need to caulk still. The homeowners are going to paint because they're going to save some money. We're going to put a laminate floor in there. I'll show you guys kind of how to do that tomorrow. We're going to have to hit a second coat, third coat, and blow texture. And then we got to build a little step thing. I think that's it. It's not going to be a hard day. We're probably going to go and work on another job too. So that's what we did today. And I hope that you guys are having a wonderful time and a wonderful quarantine. For those of you that actually quarantine, I know I don't ever. I haven't quarantined for 20 minutes, but I hope that you
Cover your mouth.
Huh?
Cover your mouth.
I ain't gonna cover my mouth. I don't believe in any of this stuff. All right, bye. So we put a second coat of tape and bed on here, and so you can tell this was pretty underwhelming up here, but we've smoothed it all out, and now we're gonna blow texture. And so Dave Canoe is here with me again, the rock star, and he was all like, how does this work? And I realized that a lot of people maybe don't know how this works. So this here is just joint compound, which a lot of people call mud, and then you take water, and it really helps if you have, maybe you forgot to bring a bucket with you, and so you got a flower vase that's kind of dirty from somebody's counter, and you're just like, I'll just use this to pour some water. So you just put water in there, and then hopefully you got a 1/2-inch drill with a pallet bit on it, and then you just mix this stuff up. And what you want to do is get it to where it's
pretty runny because it's got to go down in this hopper, right? So let's see if I can do that. So you want to be able to like lift up, and it's pretty loose, pretty runny. Because then what's going to happen is we're going to pour it inside of this hopper, and then that'll be hooked up to an air compressor right here, and it blows air through here. And when you pull the trigger, it lets the mud just fall down just by gravity, right? So you just, and then we got a mud knife and we drag it off. So that's pretty interesting. We'll do that. I think I've already done a video of that, so I'm not going to show you right now. But this does bring up an important word, which is sincere. Do you know where the word sincere comes from, David? That's right. It's a Greek word, sincere, and it meant without wax, right? And you're like, what does that mean, and why is that important? Well, whenever they were making marble statues, let's say you're working on this thing for days or weeks or months or whatever it is, maybe your whole life, and you're all tink, 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 and all of a sudden you go, chip, oh darn it, there went the nose or whatever, right? A piece of the shoulder or something. They would take wax and they would melt that and they would smooth it over, and then at a glance you're like, that looks pretty good. But the word sincere comes from a word that means without wax. So sincere is as we really are, with our flaws showing, not hiding anything. So I just thought that was interesting. Anyway, we're gonna blow some texture. Hey, so we got the texture blown, and that's amazing. And now we're gonna do the laminate. And it occurred to me that a lot of you guys don't know how to do laminate, so I'm gonna show you. So normally there's an underlayment that goes down under here, which is like a plastic kind of a thing. It's a vapor barrier, but this stuff has it built in. This is luxury vinyl, and it has it built in. There's like a pad, it's squishy, so then you have you don't hear that clanking sound as much, and then also it's a vapor barrier. So the way this stuff works, it's tongue and groove. Here's your tongue, which is very small, and then here's your groove, and it snaps into that. So the way that works is you come up at a 45-degree angle, right? And it kind of locks in place, and then when you put it down, it locks in. You can see it's basically seamless, and once it's in place, it won't pull apart, right? Like I'm pulling pretty hard on that, it won't pull apart, but as soon as you break it, it just comes right apart, like it's nothing. So Dave cut these ahead of time, which is very nice of him, so we can show you. There's starters and finishers. Usually go from your right to your left, and then once you snap that in place, right? And then get it close to this edge over here. And these are pretty tough, so you can hit them with a hammer. And once that's smooth across, then we're good, right? So then we're gonna come over here to this next one. We'll put that in place. Same thing, you get it lined up, and then put it in place and pound it. So that finishes a row, but then let's see how we start a row. Okay, so let's go here. It helps if you can walk on your knees like a gorilla, which I can. So then starters, you want to just be random pattern, right? So this one, then we do one that's a little bit smaller. And we do another one that's a little bit smaller than that. And so on. And they don't have to be equidistant or anything like that, which is nice. That's trash. That's trash. Okay. So then we'll do full ones. I'll just show you a couple of those real quick. And they're basically the same thing. So you just come in here and you lock it in place, and then you tap that sucker down. And that's pretty much it. You just keep doing that, right? You just keep doing these starters, and then you do all your fulls, and then you measure off what your finishers are, and you cut around whatever's in the way. You want to cut the bottom of door jambs and stuff off, take all your baseboards out of the way first, and then it's a floating floor, so you got to leave a little bit of a gap around the edges in case your house shifts, and then you put the baseboards on top, and that's pretty much it. So that's how you lay laminate flooring. Now you know. So we got done because it's been about 28 minutes. We laid this whole floor, if you can see it. Then we went ahead and put in a windowsill over here, and then baseboard underneath, and that's trims it out, makes it look better. We caulked everything, textured everything. We built this thing. There's this drain pipe that went through here, and so we built this as a temporary deal, and then they're going to finish it out later, but this is just something to make that step up. Then we cased this opening, which is nice, and on the outside we got the
So all this was cut out yesterday?
Yeah, we cut all this out yesterday morning.
This is a garage.
And this was a garage door yesterday, and we cut all that, we took all that out and then framed all this up.
So this was the garage right here?
Yeah, this is garage door right here. And then we framed it, we took out the garage door, framed it up, insulated it, sheetrock tape bed, put it in the window, decking and siding and caulk on the outside.
And so this right here was not here either.
This wasn't there, no.
That's nice.
All this was done in a day and a half. I mean 28 minutes.
How long?
28 minutes, a day and a half. Yesterday I think we only worked maybe 10 hours and then today like 4 or something like that. It's not bad. Wow, bad. All right, so see you guys later. We're gonna go do another job. Oh, hey there. So look, don't get scared. We're gonna have more construction stuff coming up soon, but in addition to doing all this, I also make a lot of music. So this is a music video that I made and I wanted to share it with you guys because I really hope that you enjoy it. All right, enjoy.